All right, check, check, check. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Welcome to the show, Art to Art. We got VIEM, the crew. What we want to do today is just welcome everybody joining us. You know, we build through creativity and community, and we got VIEM on the case. So we just gonna jump straight into it. I'm gonna let y'all introduce yourselves. Welcome and thank you for coming to the show. You know what I mean? What we do here is just share our artistic view of everything. You know what I mean? Creativity is life. We know that. So we've been building over that over the past few years, and we finally get to sit down after everything. So I'll let y'all introduce yourself.
Absolutely. What's up, everybody? This your favorite sneaker designer, Call Me Ford from the Shy City.
What's going on, everybody? This is Vab, another I'd say no, I'm just
favorite.
with a sneaker artist from Chicago.
What's up, everybody? This is Jay Solid from Chicago, also photographer.
This is Esco, formerly known as Kicks by Esco, from the south side of Chicago.
Yeah, so what up, though, y'all? Welcome to this show, Art to Art. Thanks for joining, though, for real.
No, we appreciate you for
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Straight up.
This episode gonna be lit. For real.
All day. So, man, just to kick it off, I remember when me and you met, Kami, like, shoot, you had a lot of artists coming through here. You know what I mean? Just off of your kicks.
Man, bro, that shit was a wild time. Like,
Yeah.
that was such a long time ago. But I mean, that was back then before pandemic. That was like right when Chicago was really jumping. But you know, the beautiful thing about it was that the group, like our group here, was
Right.
definitely one of the main reasons of why so many artists came through this building.
Okay. So y'all been a collective for a nice little second.
Yeah, in a sense, it just wasn't quite as official as it is now, if that makes sense.
Facts.
It's the progress of progress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trials and tribulations.
Yeah, ups and downs. That's what make everything tough. You know what I mean? So what exactly is it that y'all collaborate on as a crew?
So initially, like I say, before we were VIEM, as we are now, we kind of were individual artists trying to build up our own names. Each of us at the time were customizing shoes.
Okay.
And like I say, just trying to lead by example, so to speak, but find our own lanes. And then, I mean, long story short, life happens. And it came to a point where I was actually looking to start a sneaker company. And even though we weren't necessarily in the same environment anymore, I still felt like that was the right team. This was the right team to kind of get that started with. And we came back together, and VIEM was born. And within that, I mean, we're still dabbling in shoes. We still, VIEM as a whole is a sneaker company, but it's more than that. I mean, we want VIEM to be a platform that creates a lot of opportunity, be it exposure to different forms of art that we're doing on shoes, clothes, or being opportunities that we're able to open as VIEM grows.
Okay. So it started with the shoes.
Yeah.
And when y'all, because I remember y'all used to have a lot of artists coming through to be like, they'd be like, I got to get with Kami and them, you know what I'm saying, on the shoes. Like, they come back with like some out cold Air Force Ones that's tricked out. I used to be like, damn, like, whatever, what's up with that? So where did that like creativity spur from? Like, is that something y'all always did, or?
I mean, well, I think the beautiful thing about this group, and you know, this is like my family over here. I think the beautiful thing about it is that we all have collective stories of our own backgrounds, like individually, that it kind of brought us all together. So like, say for instance, I can only speak on my end that brought us on this journey, but for me, it was working at Champ Sports. And one day I saw Vab, he was working with me, and I saw a pair of shoes that he had, and I'm like, bro, that shit dope as hell. How can, you plug me into it, and how can I learn how to do it? And that's how I got put on to it, through Vab.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like inspiring each other just off the vibe. Word.
And I think like everybody got like the story, so,
Yeah, I mean, I'll go through mine quick because I don't want to take too much time. But my story was a little different. It came a little bit earlier than everybody else's from a sneaker art standpoint. Always loved kicks. Always was into kicks. Could never really afford them till I got to the point where I could work at Champs, and me and Mark were working together. We all, funny story, we all kind of met in sneaker stores. But I was actually scammed. So I sent my money out. This high school. This like junior year, going into senior year. Me and my homie in high school, his name was Deontay. we used to, in homeroom every year, we would go on Soul Collection and design shoes. And I found an artist. He had a website, Instagram, everything. At the time, this was advanced because people didn't really have that in 2011. And he had a YouTube channel too, showing off his customs and stuff. But he was in New Jersey. I sent him my shoes and like $350, and he was supposed to buy another pair of kicks and customize both. Time went on. I didn't receive anything. I paid through a money order because I was young, didn't have a credit card or anything like that. So I didn't get my money back. Didn't hear from Buddy, but I still wanted my shoes customized. So the next year, once I got out of school, I started to literally just like dabble in trial and error on my own shoes. I probably ruined maybe like 10 pair of Jordans before I got something that worked.
Right.
But again, I always had that love for art and that love for sneakers. And the fact that I was denied of having colorways that I wanted made by the other artists who scammed me, it kind of made me want it even more. So that's what got me into it.
Oh yeah, that's dope. That's dope right there. It's like creativity by necessity in a way. You know what
It
I
was like
mean?
by any means necessary, I want to see these colorways made.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Create what you want right there. That's what up. That's what up. So y'all want to speak on how y'all came into play? So you do photography?
Yeah, photography, yeah.
Okay.
I initially got into photography first, and then customs and painting everything came afterwards. Then I jumped more into doing custom work. I initially wanted to get some work done by Vince. It was a long time ago, and I was in high school and I have a job. So me being like, less than money or whatnot, I was like, well, I'm gonna try to do it myself rather than pay somebody to do it. That's how I've always been. And then, of course, me doing it, messing up, trial and error, learning more, it just kind of got me better and better in doing it. And then just kind of made a thing out of after that.
Okay.
And art was always there. I've always kind of like viewed things as like an aesthetic thing for me, especially, I don't know, just everything around me, I guess you could say. But I kind of put that into shoes. Like everything I liked as a person, I made it into like a thing I wanted to show people. Same thing I did with my photos in a sense too. Like I only like shooting things that I like to kind of give people the viewpoint of like how I would see things. You know what I mean?
Word.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
No, that's real. That's real. That's one thing I love about creativity. Just that shared viewpoint. Like y'all crew, but y'all each got y'all own creativity. And it takes some special people, like you mentioned earlier, Wu-Tang.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to come and be able to, everybody is stronger individually, like
Right.
creative monsters, but to respect each other's and give each other whole space for each other's creativity like that. That's dope too.
Yeah.
So that's what up. That's what up.
So I got into it because of Vince. He's basically everybody's center
Inspiration.
point.
Okay.
Yeah, and inspiration.
Just
But-
showing y'all how to do the shoe.
I mean, this man is like the Magic Johnson of the Lakers right now at the moment.
So
Appreciate you, though.
we met in at Nike too, Nike downtown, because I used to work with a girl that he knew, and she introduced us because she showed me, like, I saw his page and shit, and I'm like, oh, okay, I want some customs and stuff done. So I had gave him these was it Columbia 11s that I wanted changed into cherry reds. I mean the cherry 11s, and shit, I didn't know anything about like waiting time and stuff like that. So I'm hitting them up like, where my shoes at and stuff.
Right. I put this order in.
Yeah, man. So
Put that order out.
I'm getting thirsty. I'm like, I know he ain't took my money and
Right.
so
Yeah, for real. I didn't even know that.
yeah, I was
that's
hitting him up
crazy.
like, and he was going back and forth with me and kind of put me in my place a little bit, like, oh, this takes time and stuff like that. So, but after that, I don't know how it got to a point where he basically was like, oh yeah, you should start doing, cleanings and stuff. And I'm like, well, I don't know about that. And, he showed me and stuff, and then and he like, oh, you should start restoring shoes. I'm like, I don't know how to do that shit either. So I'm like, he would like come to my house and he would show me how to do the restorations and stuff.
Okay.
Like, cause for me personally, I'm a visual learner. Like I hate like verbal directions. I'd rather see it. It works better for me. So then he was like, oh, well, you should start customizing. So it was like just layer upon layer. And then, he would show me. And then I was constantly, because I would keep asking him, like when we were all together, I would always ask him stuff I didn't feel confident about, because he's literally my mentor for the shoe shit.
Word.
Well, everything that has to do with shoes, honestly, because I would have never done any of this without him. And I personally had got to a point where I was working for Jordan. We had layoffs, and I was doing this as like a hobby. So I just fell back on it and started doing it full time. And that's when we were all kind of working at around the same time. And yeah,
Okay.
it all comes back to Vince.
Right. That's the,
So basically, y'all telling me the work I did, because I did work for Comedy too. The work I did was that bad that it drove y'all to do it for yourself.
I didn't say that. Mine was about bread. That was a hobby. That was just some side chains when I was still working at Nike and Jordan.
Hey, I ain't even gonna cap. I ain't gonna cap. When I noticed that it cost me like what 180, 150 for that shoe, I'm like, bro, give me the paint. Give me the paint.
right.
Bring that
right.
here.
Let me do that myself.
But I think that was the beautiful part about it, because like without that, I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't have met these amazing people to this day, and we wouldn't have a brand that's so powerful to this day.
Right.
You know, and I think like certain moments in time like that leads up to things like now, you know, to where we actually walk in our own faith and we are understanding who we are as a person and our own individual brand. And when we get a chance to come together, that makes it even stronger. And I think the beautiful part about it is it all started with sneakers, but each one of us in this room have a talent and each one of us have a sorry, my bad. Each one of us have a talent in separate individual spots and departments where it all helps out as a unit, you know? And so, I mean, I think that's dope for sure. But all of that was trial and error in this very building. That's the beautiful part about it.
Yeah. That's a beautiful thing, man. And so that just made me think of like the way y'all came together and collaborated. Y'all mentioned like the ups and downs that y'all went through. Like I'm sure y'all weren't always like this chemistrated.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
No, not at all.
He's neutral through everything, bro.
Right.
That's a valid statement.
Yeah.
He's actually neutral. With me and Mark,
Oh, okay.
Oh my God. Like, yo.
To this
Like-
day, I've never seen it.
that's your fault.
Yeah, that's your fault. You missed it.
No, I'm talking about all that shit is your fault.
Nah, I mean, maybe, allegedly.
No.
So look, the beautiful thing about it though is like it's like a family, you know, like you don't really know how it is to be with somebody until you move in with that person and you
I was
actually
ready to
understand
box.
it. Like I get calls, Kami, where the fuck is my paint at?
Yeah,
I'm just
because
like-
bro ass wouldn't stop touching stuff that's not his. I want to throw hands.
I'll be
It's
at,
been many a times me and Mark go back and forth and stuff.
I swear to
But-
God, I swear to God, I'd be over there. My last bit of white paint, I look at Norm's Esco's desk and I'm like, I need to finish this custom.
That's what you was talking about the white paint earlier.
Uh-oh.
I don't even remember
See,
that.
we was talking about something 4 years
took
ago.
so
that
long.
happened.
Right. So
Say
bringing
you
up
took so
old.
Yeah, because I'm like I didn't know what you was talking about.
Yeah,
I ain't
you
sure
know.
about the
So through that, you know, those ups and downs and some of those, adjustments. What keeps y'all pushing?
Man, that is a great question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, is it cursing allowed on this show?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
curse
nah,
by
yeah,
I was gonna
my
say,
bad. My bad. I didn't know. If this
Nah, you good.
ready.
Feel free.
I mean, for me, just looking at the goal, if that makes sense. And I know it sounds super cheesy, but and everybody has their own why. And you hear it all the time with people. They always talk about remember your why, know your why. But that's important. And it's realer than people think. Your why is not some monumental thing like, "Ooh, I'm working to change the world." Nah, it's just what gets you up in the morning. So for me, I mean, when I had those low moments and stuff like that, I think about what my actual goal is, and if me allowing myself to have a bad day is gonna bring me closer to that, or keep me in the same circumstance that I'm in, that I'm, I guess, unhappy with. Because it's like if I allow myself to have that bad day, then I'm also telling myself I'm okay with the position that I'm in. So it's like either I get up and do something to change it, or we gonna stay here and still be unhappy with whatever it is that's going on with you that you're not content with.
Okay. That remind me of control what you can't control.
Yeah.
That's what up right there. That's what up.
Absolutely.
So is that something that y'all are able to kind of like transfer through each other through y'all chemistry, like kind of take parts of each other's characteristics, or how does that work?
I think it definitely being around each other for so long is certain things that have been imprinted and certain character traits that with us being around each other, it kind of left off on each one of us.
Right.
Just from my personality. Because like with me happening being a father, I was just telling Vab this earlier that I have a daughter. So I'm like, yo, like Esco, I want my daughter to be like that because of the fact I want her to look at a guy. I'm not even joking. I'm so serious.
Yeah,
Like,
serious. He was just saying.
I told him, I'm like, yo, because I've been around you for so long and I know how you are and how me and you argue and like how it's kind of like that big sis, little bro, but at the same time it's that respect but don't fuck with my shit type of thing. But it's kind of like
That's all I was saying. Those 4 years.
right, for 4 years long. It's kind of like, the way I look at my daughter is like I want her to understand like her value and her worth and understand like, hey, this is my boundary, this is what I'm setting up, and this is what my expectations. So if you can't go along to my expectations, we're gonna have problems and we're gonna bump heads every time until you see it my way.
I'm so flattered. I was not expecting that.
Welcome to the
Thank you. I
That's
appreciate
dope.
that.
So
Oh,
you know,
you trying to make up for that pain.
man, 4 years though, that's the crazy part.
Right.
You know, but
That's what's up.
I mean, I don't know. In my opinion, though, I just kind of feel like what pushes me is just the fact that whether it be my friends, whether it be my family, whether it be my kid, I look for equity, and I feel like our job is to be able to leave something for the next generation that's past us, to where they're gonna have something left over, to where they can be inspired. Not only on on the money side, but also on the ethics, the morality. Just to where we set the trend, and it all starts here with VM because you gotta move, but you gotta move with purpose, and that's the message that we promote, especially with this brand.
Okay. You're speaking about that legacy action
Man.
right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Like
Legacy and equity.
Right. Legacy and equity is bigger than just now. A lasting effect.
It's got to be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real.
For me personally, because like I mentioned earlier, wasn't on this, but I had stopped doing shoes because it wasn't anything that I necessarily had a sincere passion for. Because I felt like I'm not creative.
That's not true.
Vince
At all.
will repeatedly will tell me that I'm not creative because I've never been like the RC type. He could draw, I can't draw for anything. But like if it's some colors and stuff, then okay, I will work with that. But when it comes to like stuff that needs stencils, that ain't me. So when I was doing it, like I said, we had layoffs for Jordan, so I was doing it as a source of income. And I'm actually proud of myself. Even though those were the worst like years of my life, it's humbling because I hustled. Like I still have bills and stuff, all this other stuff. I didn't have no 9 to 5. I had my business. So I ended up getting I won't say real job, but I got a job. Benefits, better pay, of course. So I'm like, I don't need this right now. Like, like this is gonna be some play around money. And then the entire time I could never get my nails done. So because I'm using acetone and stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna step back. I'm just make my money and go into work and stuff and be able to get my nails done and any other type of stuff. So I fell back from it. So I haven't done shoes in I don't know how long. I might have done a few pairs here and there. But it wasn't until VAB reached out to me about, coming together as a collective for, VIEM. And the stuff that he's, like the vision that he has for the brand is what drives me because I feel like my purpose in life is to help people.
Okay.
In some type of form or fashion. And that's what he ultimately wants to do with this brand. It's about helping people, helping kids, helping the community. And I love that. So that's why I'm even, sitting here now coming back in, because there is a bigger purpose for this.
Right.
So, and its impact, move with purpose. Its impact is something that I'm trying to be on board with, something on par.
Okay.
Because like I said, for me, that's what I know my purpose in life is for that. Some way, somehow making a difference, whether it's minute. Some people might see it as something large. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's my purpose now.
Okay.
That's my reason. That's my why for right now.
What's up? That's what we need. We need more people like that, more conglomerations, more people that friends that you work with that bring you into that. You know what I mean? So that's a bit, because this show, I'm glad y'all here and you talking about that too, because like we talked about earlier, Kami, like this show is based on that art to art. No matter what your discipline is. Like you said, okay, I don't feel creative. I didn't feel creative, but you was like, when it come to colors, I got that.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like I'm very creative, but I can't really rock with colors. Like I need some consulting on that. You know what I mean? But give me a beat, look, I got you on that. You know what I mean? So that just speaks to the art to art aspect. Like no matter if you dance, sing, or you could be a lawyer. You know what I mean? You could still like, well, Judge, this is the definitive. Did you think about it like that? Next thing you know, well, he's off. You know what I mean? Like it's just a creative spin, the art, the artistry of it. So I'm glad you're talking about that. So speaking of that, like you mentioned, like some of the younger kids with the shoes. Like, who does your creativity speak to? Like, what is your target? Not necessarily target audience like that, but who does your art speak to? What do you want to speak to?
Kids like us who didn't, or who otherwise wouldn't have that exposure. So, I mean, I know for us growing up, we really didn't see people who looked like us being able to do a lot of the things that we've been able to do, even though we haven't done much yet. I mean, we still baby steps, still at the beginning stages, but
Right.
when I was coming up as a kid, I always felt like any type of career in art was like a dead end. I literally had a dream. I can remember having a dream where I was like, oh, because I love art, but I had a dream like, oh, if I pursue being an artist, I'm just gonna be broke. Like, what's the point? So it never really dawned, like it never seemed like a viable option as a career path, if that makes sense. So, and I know it's other kids, especially the way that they take art programs and creative programs out of schools nowadays, it's other kids, especially coming up in Chicago, who might feel the same way. And every kid is not built to go to college. Every kid is not built to go work at a Fortune 500 company or do the typical 9 to 5. And that's why a lot of them fall in that trap where they don't know what to do. They, hustling and don't really have something that's real to look forward to or go after. So, I mean, for us, we trying to target those kids and give them another form of exposure, because to me, exposure is everything. Another form of exposure on as many planes and levels as we can get. Like I say, VIEM is going to be more, it's a platform more than just a sneaker company. That's just our angle. But, I mean, like I say, that's our target. The kids coming up who otherwise wouldn't have that exposure. Yeah. Especially the ones who look like us.
No doubt. Kicking in the door, just kind of shedding that light.
Yeah.
That, if it's too heavy, I can help you lift this. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
absolutely.
All you gotta do is reach your arm up under there and grab that. I'm gonna
We
lift
stronger
this.
together.
Word them up. Definitely feeling that.
Let's see what you do.
And then too, like what I also feel that that helps us out just as a collective brand and with our own experiences. Say for instance with Just, there may be children or kids who don't have the access or want to understand photography or videography to get the right looks, to be able to capture the right things. Because when it comes down to art is just it's multi platforms. So it could be from painting to marketing to getting the right look. You could be at the right place, right time. You can have the right conversation. And I believe that's the beautiful thing about this brand, because on my end, what I'm trying to bring towards this is the fact that you can market whatever item or whatever your passion is. Say, for instance, for me on my end, I may not be the best artist when it comes down to creating shoes or drawing, because to be honest with you, if you see me and Babs work, it's two different damn things.
I've been doing it longer.
Regardless of the fact, look, them $500,000 orders, I'm sending y'all to him because I'm not doing that shit. So, but I will say this though, my work isn't trash, but at the same time, it's just I understand the metrics of it, and I understand the fact that it can be marketed. And I think that's the biggest thing in our society too on certain aspects, is because you can have certain brands or certain items, but if it's packaged and marketed right on the right platform, and if you have the information, and that's the difference with a lot of people in our society, of those children who don't have the resources or don't have the funds for it to be able to come and understand and just simply learn the marketing aspect of it. And with VIEM, we're bringing everything. It's like a buffet. You're getting some of everything with this.
Word.
It's like you walking in the Sam's Club. You know how they give you the entree? You try this, you try that, you try this. You get the marketing, you get the artwork, you get the photography, you get the structured advice. advice. Like you get all of that. You know, even when it come down to stylists of your clothes, like we help you guys out, and that's where we want to push this brand as far as moving with purpose.
Okay. So y'all doing like stylists for individuals too, or for brands and things like that? Let's talk about that a little bit.
We don't necessarily do like stylists for brands, but we do collaborate with brands and companies to do like bespoke projects for them. So for instance, right now we're working on a project with a law firm called Cooley.
Okay.
And it's sneaker based, but it's a bespoke sneaker where we're designing it for them and some of their partners.
Okay.
And there are other companies that we'll probably work with that, you know, we have relationships with. So that's like the company, I guess, collaboration standpoint. But again, another purpose of the brand aside from exposure is collaboration. So we got to bring everybody together. And I mean, there are tons of different creatives nowadays who don't necessarily get the attention that they should get, especially the way social media is. It's like we get a free look at their work and we could copy it, but they don't necessarily get the credit or the money that should come along with it, because brands, you know, they see our work.
Yeah.
And we might have done a custom or something and look up a year later, Nike didn't put it out.
Right.
And we might have made $200 on it, but they making $200 million.
Yeah,
so
bro.
Hey, look, hey, funny story. Hey, Esco, tell them about that, them color change on them, on them sandals, on them Basanis, the Nikes.
Oh, what about them?
About how you were doing that way before it became popular.
Yeah. The shift.
The color shifts.
So my little specialty out of the group, I guess at that time, I was doing color shift paint using on slides and shoes. So basically color shift is like it look one way in the light, like it'll be purple, and then you tilt it and then it'll be like gold or something like that.
Right. Flip flop.
So yeah, I was doing them and I think my colors were cold. And then Nike come out with some stuff and I'm like, all right.
But nobody was doing it beforehand. Like Nike
Nobody.
wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Or at least they weren't showing it.
Because at the
Right.
time I was looking at I forget, I don't even remember her name. There's some chick on YouTube. She was doing stuff with slides, like she was painting slides and stuff. So I'm like, all right, cool. I had got into the color shift. I was seeing it, and I'm like, that'd be dope. Put on some shoes and stuff. You know, I'd have to see how each color came out using a different base color, like white or black and stuff like that. And they actually were cold. Like I actually like because I might start doing that this summer again because they look decent to me at least. But and then another time was those you remember those what were they like? They were like a salmon Jordan 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
I did a custom for a client, and it was his request of the color change, how he wanted it to look. And then, what was it, last year, Nike dropped that same shoe in that same colorway. I'm like,
Right.
but at this point, they just run out of ideas, bro.
Yeah, sneak peek
I
the
ain't gonna lie,
recipe.
like they running out of ideas because
Right,
they
right.
coming out with.
Yeah, that's a
I'm
great
leave
thing
it at
about
that.
us. We don't run out of ideas.
Yeah.
that's-
They getting paid off.
They
of
get
it.
paid off,
right.
and
That's the part,
and
but that's
all
what
they
you
gotta
was talking
do,
to-
yeah,
talking about
because all they
earlier.
gotta do is search. Just look at
That's it.
all these customizers
Yep.
pages. That's all you gotta do.
Right. So speaking of that, like, first of all, I got like a 2-part question. It's for y'all, so y'all should be able to cover it.
Okay.
So what you was just talking about in terms of like being able to see those colors, that's one thing I admire about artistry and just being able to see colors. Like, is it a certain process to that, or is it just come to you?
I don't know where I got the idea for the shift paint. I don't know. I'm not sure if another artist might have had it on a shoe or whatever the case may be, but came across it. And like I said, like the colors that I was seeing, I was saying it was summertime, so I wear slides through the summer. I mean, all year round, honestly.
Right,
So,
right.
and I was like, dang, some of these colors would look dope. So I just actually I think I had only got a few colors at first, and I bought the slides from I think I was getting them from Shoe Carnival, and I was testing them out to see, like I said, because the color will be based on what the base color is. So you can have white, and I've sprayed a color, and it'd be a totally different color had I did it black with a black base and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I had like maybe 12 slides of 10 to 12 slides of different colors and stuff. And I was just like, oh, well, I'm going to just supply the shoe, do the custom, and just sell them like that. So that was my initiative to do. And then I did a few shoes with them on there, but I didn't go too hard or heavy because I think that might have been the summer. Was that the summer of the year where I was starting to fall back from shoes a little bit? Because I never got to go like heavy with it. I did have a sight at the time; those were on there, but yeah, I just ended up falling back when I stopped.
Okay,
and stuff,
okay.
But
So it's kind of like just peeping the style, seeing where it could go.
yeah,
together.
seeing the color, and
Yeah.
seeing if that would be something that people would rock.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because my thing is like, oh, it's summertime. Dudes love slides. Females wear slides and stuff too. But depending on the color, depending on the fit that you got, it can hit.
Right,
So-
right.
It was just thinking of that, seeing how I would sell it, like a selling.
Yo, and like you was doing this one slide, cold as hell. You pour it like so. Say for instance, if you had like water, right, or like somebody goes to the beach, right. When the water touches the shoe or the when it touches the sandal, it changes the entire color.
the temp change one.
Yes, it was temperature.
I ain't like it.
changes.
I never went with it.
because
it
was
was-
hard.
Yeah, it was a cool concept and stuff. Because who was doing that heavy though? Was that Dre? Was Dre doing that?
Nah.
Was it
It's
Chi-Town?
another page called.
Yeah, it was Chi-Town.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
Chi-Town.
Oh, shots yeah.
This other
Yeah.
customizer, he was on that. And I think maybe that's who I got the idea from the
I think
shift
it was.
from.
Probably.
I think it
Yeah,
was him. Okay. So he was doing that a little. So I won't say that I was the first one doing it, or that. Maybe on slides and stuff, because his was kind of on shoes. But I didn't like that heat tank.
Okay.
It was too much of a process. It was making me mad. So I
You just
said,
needed too much paint too.
yeah.
Okay.
And you needed too much of that dust too, and that dust wasn't cheap. So,
just to
like I
make
said,
it-
I'm already hustling to pay my bills and everything, car note, all that other stuff.
got time
And
for
then
this dust?
this dust is a little pricey and stuff. I was getting a little sample you digs, and I'm like, man, I'm over that. I'm gonna stick with the color shift.
Right.
So
I think that was so dope though, because like to this day, I've personally still never even done that before.
I don't even plan on doing it.
But you know that meant
I have no
Nike does now,
desire.
too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's
heat?
mainstream. Yeah.
Yeah, now they do it now. And I think like it was just dope because like you put water on it or any type of liquid
It
and
was
it
some
just changes the
SBs that
color
came
into something entirely different.
Right.
So
yeah.
but
That's fresh.
Oh.
We,
Over
we
it.
got something coming up just like that though.
Okay.
we?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
she like, do we?
Yeah, they didn't know about it, but we got a sample coming in that's got that on there.
Oh, yeah?
It's in the hopper.
Yeah.
which one? The
Where'd you
temp or
find
the
that at?
shift?
The temp.
Oh,
So yeah, what part of the game do y'all try to keep some of the ideas that y'all come up with like under wraps? Like for me, like sometimes I might have an idea about a song and I'll be like, you're gonna hear it when I record it.
this guy you hear?
You know what I mean? So is it
yeah.
What did I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the name?
What does
Yeah.
that mean?
Yeah.
you the gatekeeper of the ideas?
He's definitely
so,
the
I
game.
mean-
You gonna see it when it
he
drop.
definitely conceals his ideas because we've been working on some clothing, some merch drops for a minute, and he's like, "Oh, it's not ready for me to show it to you yet." I got some things though.
Right.
Yeah, that's just me. I'm super judgmental of what I put out. If I'm not happy with it, y'all ain't gonna see it. That's about it.
It's flat out like that.
Yeah,
huh?
it's not
But
bad.
you don't
So
need
you want to
to
get
be
it
that way,
perfect.
though.
You want to get it like just
Yeah, like to my eye, like if it's good to me, hopefully it's good to everybody else. Because I'm super judgmental on the work I put out.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the main issue, but it's a good thing at the same time.
I feel you.
That's hard.
I'm like that too.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's dope.
Share a little more.
I'll try because constructive criticism is
Yes,
important.
there you go. There you
Like, I know
go.
that.
And we might love it.
Right.
See,
So
true, but
I hear you though.
it take a minute. I got
Show
you.
me.
So on that point right there,
Drop
man,
it.
that's interesting because I'm sort of like that. Like when you create something,
Mm-hmm.
what are you? Is it something that you hoping for? Like what do you hope for when you?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on what I'm creating. If I'm creating for a person, definitely something I want to get perfected. Because I would hate to make something that I put some passion into and that person don't enjoy it. It sounds weird to say that, but like, if I put my 100 into it and that person like, oh, this is trash, that hurts more than making something terrible.
Right,
You know what I mean?
Right, true fact.
It's like, yeah, because I put trash out and I know it's trash. That's a different story. But if I'm like I said, I'm putting my heart into it, and then they're like, oh, that's bad. I'm like, oh, that's even worse for me. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I would like to see, I would like to do 100% at the time, I guess I could say, to answer that question,
Okay,
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
So do y'all have like like with writers and you might have writer's block. Do you ever had like
Yeah, definitely.
like like piles of shoes that y'all just never nobody see?
You ever watched SpongeBob before?
Yeah.
My duh.
Hey, there was an episode for all my SpongeBob watchers. There was an episode when Mrs. Puff was like, "You gotta have these 4 words. What I learned in boating school was my mind be like blankety blankety blank, and I be that's me I have it at least 3 out of 6 weeks." 3 out of 6 weeks,
Right,
at
that
least.
part.
And I mean, like, I'm talking about it could be from 3 months to 6 months, and I'm just like, yo, what do I want to do?
I know what you mean. Is it? Well, as a collective, y'all probably y'all able to like bounce ideas and get each other out of that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot. So we're just now, like I say, getting back together. Back when
Okay.
we were in the studio, not every day, but almost on the daily in the studio together. Yeah, it was definitely way easier because I mean, if I'm having artist block, so to speak, I really don't even have to say nothing. I could just look up around the room, and if everybody else working on something,
Right.
I can just, oh, okay.
Right.
And then whatever she working on, or whatever Kami working on, or whatever Jay Solid working on might get me into a different state of mind, and now I'm working on something different, and vice versa. So, but now being out of that, I guess it is. I feel like it is a little bit harder because I mean, COVID kind of pushed everybody into isolation.
Yeah.
So I mean, man,
Right.
fighting it now, it's like you just got to fight through it.
You
I
do.
ain't got nothing for y'all.
Well, look, I'm gonna tell a crazy story here. This is probably a story I've never told in any interview. So, speaking about writer's block, I think it was better. Podcast interview, it's lit. So I think like this is the best thing about being with you guys for all those years because you guys kind of forced me in certain situations of me having writer's block. For like 6 months out of like my first 2 years, I was in the studio with you guys and all I did was a Galaxy custom. I remember one day, I'm talking about an Air Force One Galaxy,
Yeah.
Jordan Galaxy, same color damn near. Until one day, Bab was like, bro, when are you gonna step out your comfort zone? I'm tired of seeing you do galaxies. Why do you keep doing this? So I'm like, all right, bro, I got you. I'm gonna step out my comfort zone. You know what the next shoe was?
What?
A galaxy. But I feel like that really trained me to get out my comfort zone eventually for when I did, because now in isolation, when I do happen to have those writer's blocks and I'm on like by myself, I kind of tell myself like, yo, you've been through this before. You've been here for 6 months. Get out of that. Figure it out.
Wow.
So that's how I deal with mine.
Yeah, I feel like me getting out of my like I guess you can say like comfort zone or like that dead zone and not putting anything out is definitely like finding inspiration or something. And I feel like whatever I see, whatever I watch, whatever I, anything like that can put me into like something different. Because I can be just driving and see something crazy, and like, oh, that'd be dope to kind of turn it into something different. So I feel like inspiration is like a main thing that gets me out of that zone in a sense. Yeah.
Mine used to be Vab, because he wouldn't help me. Like, so
You wasn't the so sad.
he wouldn't help me, dude. And I would get so upset. I'm like, bro, you could just show me this, like, because I second guess myself, and that includes my work. So I'm kind of a perfectionist. Like I'm not saying I'm a perfectionist, but I kind of have those traits. Like I want it to look sharp. I want it to look good. I don't want it to look trash and nothing like this. I might not be able to do something like I was not my bad. I was not confident with like my fading. And I would always want to do them when Vab was there, or else I'm not gonna do it. So, because I need you to tell me what I need to be doing, because I didn't do them as much, so I didn't fully grasp how to do it yet. But each and every time he would tell me no, and then I would have to automatically step outside of my comfort zone because a client has already paid me for their shoe, so I have to give them their
Right.
results. I'm
Gotta
not
deliver.
gonna send them back anything trash like that. So, but I just wasn't confident within myself to go ahead and do it on my own. So he made me You know,
Right.
step
But-
out of my
Right.
comfort zone, which
That
I
pressure
hated.
cooker.
I would be
Right.
so blue. I'm like, bro, you can just show me this,
Right.
and he would refuse.
Like,
It was for the
The
best.
audacity.
I swear to God, I'd be minding my business, and then I see them two over there. I'm like, oh hell no. Let me figure it out.
So rolling with that inspiration, like as individuals, you know how you mentioned, like sometimes I might see something just riding in the whip or whatever. Do y'all have like specific other art forms that y'all pay attention to? Like can y'all each talk about the, like for instance, with me, like I'm a huge sports fan.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So I got into sports like just boom, boom, but I didn't realize it till my adulthood that it's so creative. So when I watch sports, I get inspired just by the hustle, by the by some of the plays. Like, damn, you know how long he had to work on that to get there, he or she. And then like even with the WNBA now, I didn't used to like the WNBA. I ain't gonna front. But now I look at it. I look at the skill level of the fundamentals and the way they manipulate the game.
It's pure.
You know what I'm saying? It's pure. It's pure. It's pure practice, blood, sweat, and tears. You know what I'm saying? So, can y'all talk about like some of the individual genres of art that y'all might be inspired by?
Aren't you supposed to be a fashionista or something?
Oh shit! I didn't know I was ready for this one. Honestly, when it comes down to my inspiration of art, I look at everything from what's trending to what I'm feeling to how my day is going. So, like, say for instance, if I could be outside one day or I could be at the house watching Pokemon, and I'd be like, you know what? Let me put Pikachu on the shoe. I could be with my daughter and I think about, hey, Cinco de Mayo's coming up. Let me do something that trends into that. Or anything that's just trending. I'm like an open book. So if I feel it, if I'm doing it, I'm gonna create it. Any idea that comes to mind, I'm damn near gonna do it.
I feel that.
And I think like on the marketing side, that works out too because of the fact that with me being able to cross-platform, I can go from the anime population who likes that to market that. Say for instance, I'm doing Pokemon that's related to anime. Playoffs is coming. Steph Curry. I can go NBA. Just in those genres. I think the beautiful thing about being an artist of my type of caliber, is the fact that I could hop genres. So, I don't know. I think that's just the beautiful part about it.
Yeah, just staying open to it. That's dope right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what up, man. That's what up. Shoot, man, I'm glad to, cause me and Val, we chop it up time to time. Like, what you working on? Like,
Yeah.
it's always a grind. That's the same way me and you was. And to see y'all as a collective, like, that's what people really need to understand. Like you say, some of the kids, you know how it is when you feel like you don't nobody have your back. That can be it could go one or two ways. It could inspire you, or it could be like, man, ain't nobody.
And it'll isolate you.
It'll isolate you. You know what I'm saying? You don't have that support. So I'm glad that y'all came through as a collective, which was a pleasant surprise. You know what I mean? To see that. And I'm glad y'all showing up that way. So I just want to say before we just let the people know where to find y'all at, and what do y'all want to leave them with? You know what I mean? What do y'all want people to know about y'all?
I mean, we can all go separately if y'all want.
Yeah, I mean,
I have to.
man, I ain't gonna say a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of finding us, we all have our own separate social medias.
Okay.
And I'll let everybody go around and do that. But
Yeah.
the whole company, VIEM Chicago, that's what we are on Instagram.
Okay.
The website is VMLoop.com. It's closed right now, but we'll be coming up with our next drop later this month. So be on the lookout for that. And we actually are setting up some classes too. So
Word.
this summer in the city, we will be doing a lot of classes for kids and some for adults as well.
Okay.
So.
Like shoot art class.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. That's dope.
And different types of events too. Hopefully we can break into sports before this summer is out. So.
Okay.
But yeah, like I say, you can find us on Instagram, find us on TikTok as well, unfortunately. We VM Loop on there as well.
Go TikTok.
Go TikTok.
And of course, move with purpose always.
Okay. Word them up. Move with purpose. You heard it, y'all. Move with purpose.
All right. Well, are we?
Go ahead.
Okay, never mind. Go ahead. Are we exiting? I didn't know if this was.
Did y'all
what?
want to leave with something too,
Oh.
or
I mean, you
Oh,
should.
Yeah, sign out with your name. Be like, yo, this is.
No, I ain't signing out my name. You
For
basically
sure,
wrapped it up
well,
already. Let me be honest
Jesus
with you.
Christ, we'll tag you in the credits.
Exactly.
No, everything that Vab just said, honestly, is what we're going to try to leave people with each and every time.
Word them out.
So, I don't know. I'm Esco, formerly known as Kicks by Esco. That is still my Instagram handle.
Okay.
Not as active on that because I be on my personal page more, but that's has to change now since you know I'm being pulled from retirement and whatnot.
Cause you the GOAT.
You gotta get them 3 more rings.
Right. Come on, Jordan. We waiting on you, Jordan.
Ain't 23 at the end of your name, or what used to be?
Nah, it used to be. I took that off. It's too much of a mouthful.
That's okay.
But
Word.
thank you though.
No doubt.
Well, this is Kami Ford. If you need to reach me, Instagram Kami Ford. One closing thing I just want to let you guys know, and to anyone that is listening, it all starts with you. The biggest battle is in your mind and in your head. Once you get past that, everything else is smooth sailing.
That's what up. That's what up. You heard
Sound
it
like he
here.
was trying to serenade real quick.
You feel
Quiet
me?
storm.
This is Keith Kami Ford.
No, I don't got much to say.
Word. Word.
So I look at
At least tell him your name one more time and then drop it out.
You did it already.
I didn't say your name.
You got this.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Come on.
Just say your name.
Come
My
on.
name is Jay Solid.
All right.
Stay solid on the case.
Drop the mic.
And he dropped it.
He's our shy one.
Word. Well, that's all. Well, you know, the neutral, the balance. You know what I'm saying? The neutralizer. You know
Man,
what I'm
this was a
saying?
pleasure. This was
Vibing.
such a pleasure.
Yeah, no, I'm glad y'all
really
came
Appreciate
through,
you for having
man.
us on.
No doubt, man.
Thank
Blessing
you.
everybody, art to art. So, like y'all see the crew. Y'all know the coordinates. We'll probably be looking out for y'all, you know what I'm saying, especially some of the classes that y'all got going, man. And it's just a blessing to have y'all here, you know what I mean? So just stay creative, as I know y'all will. Art to art, keep spreading it. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Vab love the kids, you know what I'm saying? all day,
love
all
the
day.
kids.
That's what we need. So thank y'all for being here, man, and much love to y'all.
And thank you so much for having us.
Much love.
Appreciate
Appreciate
you.
This interview is gonna go very, very far. It's gonna be nice. We're gonna look back on this and then we're gonna enjoy it.
Word of mouth.
Be
word of
safe.
Look at us 6 months down the line from now.
Yeah. Let's get
Okay.
it. All right, y'all. Much love.
Adios.
Beautiful.
Be safe, everybody.
Be safe.
Peace.
Muchas gracias.